All right, hey guys, what's going on? It's Intelligent Psycho back in here with another stream. So this time I'm going to talk about the WNBA. What happened? The games happened last night. So I was able to see the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury. The Fever won by the score of 107 to 101. Man, what a hell of a game that happened last night. So we're going to talk about the Fever right now with the laying leader. So let me shout out to Leah Boston. She was in double figures. She had 22 points and 12 rebounds. Sophie Kent was in double figures, but the bench, Damaris Dantas and Chloe Bibby were both in double figures. They came out the bench and did their thing. But Ari McDonald, ever since she came back after being initially released during the starting point of the regular season, for the WNBA, but then she came back to the Fever after DeWanna Bonner ended up announcing her, and the Fever ended up announcing their waiving of DeWanna Bonner. So it opened up room for the Fever to sign back Ari McDonald, and she really is absolutely on fire. She had a career high 27 points in 31 minutes and 4 assists. She was just on point last night. Her passing ability, her ability to get to the mid range, inside perimeter and outside the perimeter. The Fever had made 6 threes in a row in the second quarter. They made at least about 16 for the entire game. They were just on point no matter what the circumstances were. For their offense, defensively they got enough stops, and they were able to survive the initial wave in the third quarter that the Mercury tried to make a comeback with. And that wave that the Mercury came with to try to come with in the second half was caused by Alyssa Thomas. She had 32 points and 34 points and 15 rebounds. Kalea Copper had a decent game. Sammy Whitcomb had a decent game. She had 18 points. But the main story for the Mercury, that why it kept them in it, was Alyssa Thomas and Kalea Copper. The rest of the team really wasn't really getting into a rhythm offensively, in the first two halves. But then the second that they try to cut within striking distance, but it just didn't work for them. And overall, for me, the Fever was just able to control the pace of the game throughout all 4 quarters. Even despite the Mercury trying to make it a little bit of a run in the third quarter and some in the fourth, it just wasn't able to work for me. And I can just see overall the Fever, to me, offensively are playing so well with Ari and Kelsey Mitchell back and forth. Just their guard play is just really, really on point and pushing the ball further and really making the offense feel a bit at home and feel welcome and feel inspired. And also, I feel as if the way that the Mercury with Sabali and Alyssa Thomas and Kalea Copper, they're gonna be consistent throughout. It's just for the Mercury is what's gonna be their problem if they do when they get into the postseason. Can they get play from their bench? Can they get consistent play from Sammy Whitcomb? Can they get consistent play offensively and defensively? Get enough stops when it comes to the postseason time on the West in the Western Conference? Can they get consistency? And that's gonna be the main thing for them. And for the Fever, can they win enough games? Can they be able to contain and control and get within striking distance for the Atlanta Dream and of course the New York Liberty, which lost to the Minnesota Lynx last night, which I'll talk about that and after this one in a minute. But yeah, that's the only thing for the Fever is going to be consistent. But they're a really good young, aspiring team with a lot of older veterans, but a lot of younger players. They feel they will fill up the box score and the scoring board. So I like the way the young star women players are playing. They're really playing with a lot of energy and they're really coming after it, man. They're aggressive, getting to the basket, able to drive and get penetration. That's a real thing, man, and that's a thing that's gonna really push them a lot further when it's all said and done. So, just my thoughts for that one, and for me, I think the Fever. That's all they need is just consistency from Boston and Natasha Howard, Lexi Hall as well. Like, can they get consistency from them when the postseason comes? Because I think they'll have enough record-wise and resume-wise to get a little bit in the postseason. It's just 5 games, and can they be able to advance, past the first round, and can they be able to make a run? We'll see. Now let's get to the game last night that people want to talk about is the Minnesota Lynx and the New York Liberty. So the Lynx won by the score of 193. Now, I saw this game last night, and we'll just talk about a few people. Natasha Cloud and Sabrina Ionshoe really had a really good night. They were in double figures. I don't think Breanna Stewart. I don't think she played. Yeah, she did not play last night. And Marianne James had a really good game. She was in double figures. And Jonquel Jones, they got her involved a lot more for the Liberty. Yeah, for the Liberty, they really pretty much pushed the pace further and really try to, and especially in the first 2 quarters, they try to push the pace and get a lot of energy going. But the Lynx were just too much, and mainly from Kayla McBride and from Nafisa Collier, because Nafisa Collier was just absolutely dominant. She was just dominant the whole entire way. Like, she's been dominant all year. That's why she was pretty much the West captain. She was just on point, getting to her spots inside the paint, inside the free throw line. Kayla McBride, her ability to get to her spots and just ability to knock down jumpers and running floaters. Alana Smith. I think that the Lynx just needed a challenge. They needed a challenge from the East, and they really needed a challenge to really give them a bit of flow and fluidity. And they just had it last night. Like, pretty much almost all 5 starters, besides one, was in double figures. And also, Natija Hydeman came off the bench and had 10. So she really put a lot of energy and really a lot of pace, and it really just gave the Lynx a bit more scoring load, and they were just balanced offensively. They was able to be efficient from the field from all 4 quarters and a half, and they really just had a bit of a flow and match the spark that they was going with. So that was the main thing that I saw during the Target Center for them. So shout out to the Lynx. They're going to be a problem when the postseason comes. When the playoffs come, the postseason comes. So they're going to be a problem for anybody. And this is a rematch from last year's championship. So I can expect this game was going to be a lot closer than what people think. And yeah, man, I love what they're doing. I love the spark and energy to what the Lynx are giving. And the Liberty gave them a fight, but it just wasn't enough without their star players. So that was something to really watch and look out for. So shout out to them. Let's go to another game that I saw, and we're gonna talk about. Well, let's talk about the Washington Mystics. The Mystics won 103-86 over the Chicago Sky. For the Sky, of course, Camilla and Angel Reese were really good, and Rachel Bannon was pretty nice. But again, like I said before, the Sky's gonna have a lot of problems if they don't make a lot of roster changes and coaching changes. For the Mystics, they were controlling the pace of the game, controlling the scorecard through the game, all 3 quarters. They have some of the best, in my opinion, they have some of the best young star players in the game right now. Kiki Ephraim and Sonia Citron, they were both in double figures, and Brittany Sykes was able to be as consistent as she can be. She was just amazing throughout this entire year, and last night she was really solid. Had 18 points in 32 minutes, so she really was doing her thing, and she really gave a lot of impact, really getting inside and outside perimeter shots from the field, from the court. She added a lot to her game, improved a lot in her game, and got the Mystics a little bit more competitive, man. So they're gonna be a problem also in the East. The East is gonna be a little bit more competitive, man, because they're really starting to really hit their stride. So shout out to the Mystics. The Aces and the LA Sparks. So the Aces won 89-74 over the Sparks. Asia Wilson had a double. It was in double figures, and Jackie Young had a triple double, 18, 11, and 11. You know, the Sparks just did not have no answers for neither one of them. And Dana Evans off the bench, she came in and just really was hitting. She kind of slowed down a bit, scoring wise, and was focusing on more or less running the game, running the floor, running the pace. So that really kind of helped all matters. We'll see when it comes down to it, when it's all said and done, how much they're gonna need from her. And then for the Sparks, Kelsey Plum and Darica Hamby was decent. Ray Burrell off the bench came off the bench and had a decent game with 17. The Sparks pretty much trying to compete, for more, try to compete to try to at least make a run and make a spot for that playoffs. But it's just I think they're gonna come up short because they had a rough start into the year. They really wasn't. They really did not find the team spark and the team chemistry. But I think they'll be. I think they'll be okay moving forward because they have a lot of young stars, a lot of potential. So they'll be fine when it's all said and done. But it's gonna be a long season for them. For the Aces, they just been consistently up and down and up in the air. They're gonna have to make some changes overall because they're not. Although their record is not what is indicated, they not having consistent at all from their main bench players. And Jewel Lloyd, she probably needs to get on out of it because he's scoring 8 points in 24 minutes. That's just not enough. And definitely Kirsten Bell. Yeah, that was not a good move to put her in the rotation. Just didn't do enough because she's the 3, and I just didn't think that they did enough with her last night. She didn't really do much. I mean, the Tuesday night game, they didn't really do much with her or anything. So, yeah, that's pretty much how I see it for them. And I believe that's all I got for the. I didn't talk about the Atlanta Dream and Dallas Wings. So the Dream won by 388 to 85. All 5 starters, mainly almost all 4 starters for the Dream were in double figures. I think Maya Caldwell started over somebody, I can't remember, but Pow, she was in double figures with 11. Nash Hillman came off the bench with 21 points in 30 minutes. Yeah, that was really, really nice for them. And for the Wings, Dallas Wings, Haley Jones, Unga Bale, and Louisa Gausler was nice. Paige Buchers had 21 points in 35 minutes. So if it wasn't for Kiki and Sonia Citron, I think pretty much Paige would probably been Rookie of the Year, but I really think it should probably go to Sonia Citron in my opinion. But Paige has been really, really been playing good this season. I think she's really had a really lit fire on the season. I think she's really just trying to develop and trying to find her game, and I really think she's finding it right now, even though the Wings record is not what it indicates. So we'll see how it goes for them, and we'll see what it's like the next following year because they're not making the playoffs at all because they're pretty much on the downward spiral. And I believe, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I pretty much talk about right now. And the last story I'm going to talk about real quick, we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe being fired from ESPN. I can get the dang computer to start working. I can get the dang computer to start working. All right, so we're going to talk about this story real quick. So Shannon Sharpe was fired by ESPN. Why he wanted the network to wait after the lawsuit settlement. So Shannon Sharpe said he's at peace with the end of his run at ESPN. Yeah, he was at the peace with the end of his run at ESPN, but does he have a nagging issue with how the dismissal was handled? The Hall of Fame tight end and media commentator is disappointed with the disappointing news with the Nevers' decision to move on from couldn't hold until after his brother's induction into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend. Sharpe had made twice weekly appearances on First Take since 2023. Revealed on his Nightcap podcast Wednesday that it is confirmed that he learned his time at ESPN was over earlier this week. and his only request was that the network wait until Monday, August the 4th to release the news. And his older brother, Sterling Sharpe, Green Bay Packers wide receiver, is being enshrined in Canton, Ohio, as a part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2025 on Saturday. Shannon and Sterling Sharpe are said to become the first pair of brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Sharpe was inducted to the class of 2011, and ESPN did what they needed to do, and I am at peace with that. I wish the guys, and I wish this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I've overshadowed my brother, the first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. This is set the headline going after the next couple of days. And even ESPN has yet to publicly comment on Shannon Sharpe's status, since the Atlantic first reported the network said to cut ties with him on Wednesday, July the 30th. The split between Sharpe has occurred less than 2 weeks after Sharpe settled a $50 million lawsuit related to sexual assault and battery accusations by an ex-girlfriend. Sharpe last appeared on ESPN in April after stepping away from the lawsuit that was initially filed, but then publicly denied the allegations, calling it a shakedown, and maintained his relationship with the accuser was 100% consensual. Sharpe said that at the time at ESPN he planned to return to the ESPN airways when NFL training camps began and ahead of the 2025 season, and the settlement in Sharpe's case came to light July the 18th when Tony Busby, the attorney for the woman identified as Jane Doe, occurred in the court filing, announced that he had reached a resolution and the lawsuit would be dismissed. No details of the agreement were released. Woman was accused Shannon Sharpe assaulted her twice in October 2024 and January 2025, and after previously engaging. Sorry about that. Knocked my phone over. In January 2025, after previously engaging in initial infliction of emotional distress, she said Sharpe had became violent over the course of their relationship and record after their sexual encounters without her consent. Sharpe never faced criminal charges in the matter. Shannon Sharpe, 57, retired from the NFL in May 2004 after a 14-year career in which he won 3 Super Bowls. Became the first tight end with more than 10,000 career receiving yards. All right, so with that all being said, Shannon Sharpe's time at ESPN I kind of knew was going to be up, and the thing is, though, with the sexual assault, alleged sexual assault case and everything that's been going on, and the lawsuit settlement and everything, $50 million, the reason why I think he pretty much kind of settled with that, with his lawyers and her lawyers, and I feel like so it won't be taken to court. That's what I feel like the lawsuit settlement was there, and why he just took it, because I feel like he felt like it was more peace at odds with him and her, and not willing to try to go to court and make this a whole big ongoing thing. I feel like that was just the smartest decision he could have done and could have made, because man, this whole thing is pretty much gotten so far out of hand for him, and it's gotten so far out of hand with her and that girl, his former girlfriend. I think that was just it would have been too much for a lot of him, and too much for a lot of that whole situation to really go on and take it to a next level. So for me, I like that it came down to it in the end, and for me, I feel like if this thing would have went any further, it probably would have damaged, if not already, already further damaged his reputation. So that's a really good thing that he did that. But at the same time, I gotta say this for a lot of guys: you put yourselves in these situations with a lot of women mixed out of your race, and that sometimes can come back to bite you, come back to haunt you. Number one, because you don't know what kind of circumstance, predicaments. A lot of these girls want you got what our money, especially black men. They want our money. They really want a lot of access. They want a lot. They mass manipulate a lot of things, because in the court systems they're more liable and more eligible to believe them than to believe anything that we have to say to believe us. And that's just a thing that we got to really learn and handle as a people, to understand that, a lot of times our fight just ain't our fight. And a lot of times our fight, we just cannot win. And A lot of things is so powerful it can be out of our control and be out of our blindness. And another thing, we have to really learn as a society to really best forward to put our to wear our emotions on our sleeves, and to really understand that we don't have the dominant narrative. They do. These institutions, these government officials, these government systems, court systems, the jurors and jesters, they have the dominant narrative. They have the dominant, they have the documents, they have the opinions that, further along than what we have. And we put ourselves in these bad situations and bad predicaments. Like celebrities, athletes, and even regular people. We put ourselves in these predicaments. And it's a lot hell, and it's hell trying to get ourselves out of at the end of the day. So my thing is, don't be like individuals like Chris Brown or Shannon Sharpe or whomever, Stephen A. Smith and whoever, that put yourselves in these kind of situations, because you never know if you can ever get yourselves out of it. And also, it's a thing of called accountability. And a lot of times, a lot of people, we just don't have accountability. And when you don't have it, it makes it more harder to really, really hold yourself in high regards. Oh, Sonya the singer, hey, how's it going? But yeah, to hold yourself in a high regard. So we got to learn how to control our emotions, and learn how to control certain situations before it let it escalate. And it's just a thing that we have to really put ourselves in the accuser's shoes as well. What's the best thing for them is to gain somebody's to gain somebody's access, to gain somebody's control, to gain money, to gain interest. But yeah, those are just a little bit of things I got to say about that. And for Shannon Sharpe, you just definitely got to be careful of yourself, because he could have really put yourselves in harm's way, which he already is putting himself in harm's way. But I'm not trying to defend him in this case or anything. I'm just saying, you put yourselves in harm's way. You put yourselves in this situation. It's just hell and it's turmoil to try to get yourselves out of. Because you can't learn to control your body, learn to control your emotions, control your body language, and really control, your surroundings, and then you don't have the people in your circle. So yeah, that's just how I feel. That's just how I see it. I'm gonna do another, and that's just all I got to say about this whole thing. I'm gonna do another video later for you guys. So thank you all for watching. I will be back later on to do another stream. I'm gonna probably be talking about another album. I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is, that I haven't listened to it yet. And I forgot to do that Eric Church record, that country album, that Eric Church record. I keep forgetting to do that one. But yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching for now.